The arrival. The sky over Earth was calm. Then it wasn't. Without warning, the alien ships appeared. Massive structures that blotted out the stars, gliding into orbit silently, without so much as a flicker of propulsion. The world panicked. Social media exploded. Governments scrambled. Fighter jets took to the skies while nuclear silos went on high alert. But the ships made no aggressive moves. No weapons charged. No cities burned. Instead, a message came. The hologram appeared simultaneously across every screen. Televisions, smartphones, even malfunctioning microwaves. A being of silver and gold, its face fluid and unreadable, addressed the people of Earth in perfect, accentless English. "We are the Veil Compact," it said in a serene, almost parental voice. "We come not as conquerors, but as protectors. Your world has reached a tipping point, one that draws attention from entities far beyond your comprehension. We offer Earth our defense, without cost, without expectation." For a moment, humanity was stunned into silence. Then the questions began. In the heart of Geneva, the United Nations Security Council convened an emergency session. Military leaders, diplomats, and scientists filled the chamber. At the head sat Commander Elise Rourke, chosen not only for her military expertise, but for her keen psychological instincts. Someone who had spent her career studying human conflict and, more importantly, preventing it. "The message says they're here to protect us," the French ambassador murmured, eyes wide. "From what exactly? That's what we need to ask," Rourke replied, her voice calm but edged with suspicion. She had seen too much, studied too much history to accept benevolent saviors at face value. Hours later, contact was established. The alien envoy, calling itself Silex, materialized as a projected figure within the UN chambers. Its glowing, ethereal form barely resembled anything biological. It explained that the galaxy teemed with dangers, marauding species that devoured civilizations, ancient weapons left adrift for eons, things that even their alliance feared. Earth, Silex claimed, had reached a technological threshold that would soon attract such dangers. "We wish to shield you before the darkness finds you," Silex intoned. The room buzzed with nervous energy. Some delegates looked relieved, others skeptical. "And what would this defense look like?" Rourke asked, narrowing her eyes. "You want to install weapons here? Bases? Control systems?" Silex offered a shimmering image. Orbital defense grids, planetary shields, deep space sensors. It was all pristine, efficient, alien. "All we ask," Silex said, "is your consent. Your world will be safe." The word consent hung in the air like poison. Rourke steepled her fingers, choosing her words carefully. "If you're offering us defense, that implies there's a threat, a specific one. We need to know, what exactly are you defending us from?" The envoy hesitated, just for a flicker of a second, but Rourke caught it. "There are predators," Silex said, "species that erase worlds, but none have yet set eyes on Earth. We act in advance to ensure your survival." It sounded too polished, too convenient. The council broke into debate after the envoy vanished. Some nations were ready to accept immediately, seduced by the promise of safety and the leap in technology. Others, especially Rourke and her closest advisors, urged caution. "What if this is just another version of colonialism?" she asked the room. "What if the defense is just the beginning of control? We don't know them. We don't know their motives. And we don't know who these supposed enemies are. But what if they're telling the truth?" Someone countered. "What if we refuse and something worse comes?" Rourke looked out the window, where the alien ships hung motionless above the blue curve of Earth. She felt the weight of her species' history, centuries of wars, lies, empires, revolutions. Humanity had fought over dirt, gold, and ideology. This was something entirely new. "Then we prepare," she said finally. "But we do it on our terms." The chapter ends as Earth's governments stall for time, keeping the Veil Compact at arm's length while assembling clandestine teams of scientists, military strategists, and hackers. For the first time in history, humanity faces a galactic power, and instead of bowing, They asked the question no other species dared. From what? The hidden agenda. The alien ships remained in Earth's orbit, silent, unmoving, a celestial noose of unknown intent. Days turned into tense weeks. The world below carried on, but beneath the surface, something had shifted. Commander Elise Rourke stood at the heart of the global defense nexus, a hidden bunker buried deep beneath Iceland's volcanic crust. Here, the best minds of Earth, scientists, intelligence analysts, cyber experts, had gathered to do what humanity had always done best: question, doubt, and dig deeper. "We've found something," her chief analyst, Dr. Amira Kwan, said, sliding a tablet across the table. On it flashed alien symbols, fractured data streams pulled from intercepted transmissions between the Veil Compact's ships. "It's encrypted," Amira explained, "but not perfectly. They didn't expect human AI to breach their ciphers this quickly." Elise's eyes narrowed. "What are we looking at?" "A list," Amira said grimly. "Other worlds. Dozens of them. Planets where the Veil Compact deployed defense systems. But here's the thing. These worlds have gone completely dark. No outgoing signals. No trace of civilization." Elise felt the weight of it settle in her bones. "So they don't protect. They conquer. Or worse," Amira murmured. "They erase." Across the world, public opinion remained divided. Many viewed the Veil Compact as saviors. Pro-alien movements flourished. News outlets praised the dawn of a unified galactic era. The Compact sent down envoys, beautiful, polished, inoffensive creatures, offering gifts of knowledge, medical advances, and hints of technology beyond imagination. But Elise and her team weren't fooled. In a high-level diplomatic meeting, one that would never see the light of day, Elise confronted Silex again. "We've been examining your proposal," she began evenly, her face stone-hard on the secure hololink. "And we're troubled by the history of your so-called protection on other worlds." Silex's form shimmered. "Each situation is unique. Some civilizations were beyond saving. Others chose integration for survival. Where you forced it," Elise snapped. "You claim you're here to protect us from some undefined threat. But we're starting to think that threat is you." A pause, long enough to speak volumes. "You misunderstand," Silex said finally. "We act for balance. It is regrettable that some species failed to adapt. You're at risk. We are your solution." Rourke's eyes burned. "We're not your prey. We're not your vassals." The signal cut. Back in the bunker, the room buzzed with silent tension. "We need to assume hostile intent," Elise told her assembled commanders. "They won't take no for an answer. They're just waiting for the right moment." Orders went out. Every military asset Earth possessed was placed on high alert. Experimental weapons, long buried in black-budget programs, were dusted off. Space agencies shifted from research to survival mode. The nations of Earth, fractured for centuries, began to remember how to stand together. And still, the question loomed. Why Earth? Why now? Amira brought the answer a day later, breathless and pale. "We found it," she whispered. "In her oldest files, the Veil Compact uses a predictive model, something like AI, something older, to identify which species could eventually become a galactic-level threat." Elise frowned. "And we're on the list," Amira said softly. "Not because of what we are, but because of what we might become. They fear our capacity to adapt, our aggression, our refusal to submit. They've been watching us. They've done this before to other species like us. The defense offer, it's not to help. It's to contain us before we evolve into something they can't control." Elise sat back, cold realization sinking in. "We're not the endangered species," she murmured. "We're the danger." In that moment, Earth's path became clear. There would be no acceptance, no compromise. The chapter closes with Elise addressing a closed-door council of world leaders. "They offered us defense," she said quietly. "But what they really offered was a cage. Humanity has a choice. We can kneel or we can stand. I say we stand." The decision was made. The first human-built warships were greenlit. Cyber divisions launched offensives. In secret, Earth prepared not just for survival, but for war. The clash. The first strike was silent. High above the Pacific, a satellite designed for Earth observation blinked out of existence. No explosion, no debris. Just gone. Hours later, a deep space listening post in Australia went dark. Across the world, communication networks flickered and glitched. To the untrained eye, it looked like technical failures. To Commander Elise Rourke and the Global Defense Nexus, it was the start of something far worse. "They're probing us," Elise said, eyes fixed on the tactical display as red icons winked in and out of existence. Looking for weaknesses. The Veil Compact had shed its mask. After Earth's refusal to accept protection, the aliens moved with cold efficiency, deploying autonomous drones, needle-like machines that sliced through orbit, dismantling satellites, disrupting global positioning systems, and jamming signals. But they made one critical miscalculation. They underestimated humans. By the time the Compact's first wave began, Earth had already adapted. Scrappy, decentralized, and unpredictable, humanity's defense came not from a single source, but from millions, governments, private tech firms, rogue hackers, militaries, and AI labs all working together under Elise's leadership. "We can't match them ship for ship," Amira warned as the skies lit up with skirmishes. "But we don't have to. We just have to make the cost too high." And so Earth struck back. Swarm satellites, hastily repurposed from obsolete space junk, formed kinetic kill nets in orbit, slamming into alien drones at hypersonic speeds. Ground-based laser systems targeted compact scouts with pinpoint accuracy. Quantum jammers, built from theories that had barely been tested, disrupted alien communications. In low orbit, the first human-crewed exofighter, Valkyrie 1, led an assault on a compact command vessel. Against all odds, the human squadron disabled the ship's shield generators long enough for Earth's newly developed railgun platform, Thunderstrike, to deliver a devastating kinetic impact. The alien ship fell in flames. The world watched in awe. The impossible had happened. Earth had drawn blood. For the first time, the Compact hesitated. They didn't expect resistance on this scale, Elise told her team, her voice sharp with determination. Every species they've protected before must have folded the moment they showed force. "We're different." In a captured transmission, painstakingly decrypted, Elise heard words she would never forget. A Compact commander, in their alien tongue, muttering, "The humans are unstable, aggressive, illogical. They adapt too fast. Pull back." The revelation spread through military channels. Humanity wasn't fighting for survival. It was fighting for the right to exist as it was flawed, fierce, unbroken. But victory was far from assured. The Compact retaliated with orbital kinetic strikes, turning uninhabited swaths of Siberia and the Arctic into molten glass. They deployed bio-drones, horrific biomechanical creatures that crashed into Earth's surface to unleash havoc in cities. For every alien drone Earth shot down, more arrived. The true danger wasn't just the technology, it was time. The longer the conflict dragged on, the more likely the Compact would bring in larger fleets, heavier weapons, or worse, planetary-scale extinction measures. "We need an edge," Amira whispered during a midnight strategy session, exhaustion lining her face. Something they haven't seen before. That edge came from humanity's greatest and most terrifying strength: unpredictability. Unleashing weaponized AI swarms that rewrote their own code mid-battle. Deploying EMP bombs laced with synthetic viruses that hijacked alien systems. Using cyber warfare to turn compact drones against their own ships. Tactics no rational galactic species would ever consider. Elise approved them all without hesitation. "We're fighting gods," she told her generals. "We don't win by playing fair. We win by being human." The turning point came during the Battle of Low Earth Orbit. A compact flagship, a vessel larger than any human city, moved into position to deploy an atmosphere ignition weapon. Humanity had one shot. Valkyrie pilots launched in tandem with hacked alien drones, while Earth's AIs simulated millions of possible outcomes. The flagship exploded in a chain reaction of its own sabotage, humanity's first major victory in space. Earth cheered. The compact retreated. In the aftermath, captured alien soldiers, biological and synthetic, revealed the truth under interrogation. Earth was one of the few species in the galaxy ever flagged by compact AI as a tier-red threat, a civilization that, if left unchecked, could one day challenge the dominant galactic powers. The protection was never about saving Earth. It was about preventing what Earth might one day become. As the chapter closes, Elise stands beneath the cold stars, gazing up at the retreating lights of the enemy. "They were right to fear us," she says quietly. "We're not the ones who need protection." The warning. The skies were quiet again. For the first time in weeks, Earth was free of alien vessels. The Veil Compact had withdrawn, wounded, humiliated, and uncertain. Across the planet, humanity celebrated the impossible, survival against an interstellar empire. But for Commander Elise Rourke, there was no celebration, only calculation. "They're not finished," she said quietly, standing at the panoramic window of the global defense nexus, watching Earth's first warships rise into orbit on fiery trails. This was only round one. In underground war rooms, the leaders of Earth gathered, former enemies now bound by shared bloodshed. Russia, China, the United States, India, the African Union, divides that had once seemed unbridgeable were erased in the face of extinction. Humanity had been forged into something new. "We've reviewed the intelligence," Amira Kwan reported, her voice tight with urgency. "The Veil Compact isn't a single empire. It's part of a larger galactic balance. Dozens of powerful civilizations who maintain control through manipulation and fear." Elise nodded grimly. "And now they all know about us." The data captured from disabled compact ships painted a chilling picture. Earth had risen faster than most civilizations, both technologically and socially. Humanity's aggression, creativity, and refusal to yield made it statistically likely to become a dominant galactic power within 2 centuries. The Compact had acted preemptively, not out of malice, but out of cold, mathematical fear. But their fear had made them reckless. In giving humanity a glimpse of the stars, they had triggered exactly what they sought to prevent. Within months, Earth's space programs were unrecognizable. Orbital factories produced weapons platforms, new warships, and AI systems designed for deep space conflict. Alien technology was reverse-engineered at breakneck speed. The knowledge gifted and stolen from the Compact was now human knowledge. A new fleet was born. Elise stood aboard the ESS Vanguard, Earth's first true interstellar warship, its hull bristling with railguns, missile arrays, and hybrid alien-human technology. What had once been science fiction was now reality. Her voice carried across the launch bay as she addressed the assembled officers and soldiers. They came offering protection. We asked from what? Now we know. The galaxy is not peaceful. It is not safe. It is not fair. Out there are forces who see us as a threat, not because of what we've done, but because of what we might one day become. She paused, eyes scanning the rows of grim, determined faces. We will not be caged. We will not be controlled. We will not wait for destruction to come to us. We will meet it head-on. Humanity is no longer earthbound. Starting today, we rise. The Vanguard launched, engines glowing with stolen alien tech, as the people of Earth watched from every corner of the globe. Cheers erupted. A new age had begun. But as the ship accelerated toward the outer edge of the solar system, a darker current ran beneath the Triumph. Somewhere, far beyond human sensors, the Veil Compact licked its wounds and convened with other ancient powers. Hushed voices spoke of humanity with dread. One cold-blooded admiral whispered what others feared to say aloud. We should have eradicated them when we had the chance. Meanwhile, on Earth, Elise and Amira watched encrypted transmissions from distant observatories. Strange signals, non-compact in origin, echoed from deep space, signals that suggested even greater threats lay beyond known borders. Amira's voice was soft with unease. What if the Compact wasn't lying? What if there really are worse things out there? Elise's reply was cold steel. Then we face them, too. In the closing moments, the Vanguard passes beyond the moon, carrying humanity's flag into uncharted space. Earth stands unified, watchful, and ready, not just to defend itself, but to carve its place in the galaxy. The once vulnerable world is now something far more dangerous. A spark, a storm, a warning, and far beyond, alien civilizations whisper a new word in fear. Humans,